the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subjects and chemicals about the concept fairly known. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, let's get it started. Hope everybody's having a great Sunday. It is our final opportunity to bet regular season Major League Baseball for the better part of a week, which is, well, it's a little sad, honestly, if you roll like Ben and I roll. But it's also a chance to reassess, a lot of things in baseball, take stock of some things, our processes, what's working, what's not, and all that great stuff. Thank you for tuning in to Want to Bet. A lot to get to today. As always, if you're new to the show, first, second, third down, Ben and I, our three favorite plays that we've made in the last 24 hours since we last did this show, in order of how we feel about them. Third down, money down in the NFL, money down for us. That's the bet we feel the strongest about. Fourth and long, we generally look at long-term bets, long shots, futures that can't pay off for a long time. We will look at some futures there. And in terms of the Baltimore Orioles, would you bet them to make the playoffs? And then in overtime, home run derby, it's always fun. I wouldn't suggest you bet a whole lot of money on it, but Ben and I are sprinkling on it. So overtime will be our home run derby bets. Beltway Ben, you teased it up there. As always, we keep score here. This is how we did last night. Look, we continue to put a lot into this to try to cash for you guys as best we can. Ben on the player props at WNBA and MLB, that's where he tends to lean. That's his area of expertise. He's cleaning up. I am on more game sides, totals. That's what I try to stay to for the most part because we self-scout around here, and we crushed it. I'm sorry that Brady House, the first two home runs of his career, including one off Abner Uribe, who doesn't give them up, Ben. That's why the Brewers only won by one run and not two. Like, I'm sorry in Man vs. Machine yesterday that the Giants at plus 120, I said Brandon Roop would hold the Dodgers down. I thought the Giants could score 3 runs or more. They could not. So we lost to Jackson AI there. And Beltway Ben, how was your Saturday evening?
Yeah, here was good, the 3 downs, but I did finish minus on the night because the Reds, we need 2 runs. They get 1 in the first. And I was going to play just the Yurfie. Instead, I went with over 1.5 first 3 innings and got too cute. And that's how it ended because we had first and second. There was a line-out double play, and Austin Hayes flew out to right with a runner in scoring position. And then Jansen Junk just shut me up. I was pretty loud yesterday that he was due for regression, and he shut the Orioles down. They couldn't do anything against him. After Gunnar got thrown out at home in the first inning, I kind of figured how that day would go because when guys are getting thrown out at home, you always know you're in trouble. But again, like first, second, and third down, we went 2-1. It was just the other 2 plays that kind of hurt us.
So we've hit Nerfy parlays 2 days in a row. So I am going to give one out. If you've been tailing us, there's one that I sprinkled on. It's not an official first, second, third down play for me. But it is one I put a lot of effort into and sprinkled on a little bit. So I will get you that before we get into fourth down. Beltway, Ben, you have the honors as always, my friend. First down, where are you taking us?
Yeah, for first down here, I'm going to go with Nick Martinez over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 140. And I think moving forward, if the Rockies are on the road, we should attack their strikeouts, the right-handed pitching starting strikeouts, because when they're on the road, it's really bad. Since June 1st, 30.4% K rate against right-handed pitching on the road, which is by far the highest in the MLB. He's got 18 starts this year. They moved him back to the bullpen a week and a half ago because they're trying to figure out what he was, right? He was getting hit hard as a starter because he was a reliever for most of his career. They move him in the rotation and things looked good early and then kind of started slowing down, and he moved back into the rotation after a week, and he's still been getting hit kind of hard, but the strikeouts can go up and down. And this is a guy against this lineup who should be fine pitching to stay in this rotation. You have to imagine he'll be looking to get a lot of swing and miss today against a team who strikes out more than anybody in the league. So I like Nick Martinez over 4.5 Ks.
Yeah, it's interesting. We are both continuing to drill down on series that we've had some success handicapping already. And I'm doing it on first down again. I mentioned Abner Uribe giving up a late home run, Brady House homering twice, so we don't get the Brewers on the money line on the run line last night. But Beltway Ben, we're going right back there. You can get plus money on them today with Freddie Peralta, who's been their ace. Freddie Peralta, who has a 1.56 ERA at home. Freddie Peralta, who has a 2.70 ERA overall in his last 7 starts. Freddie Peralta with a whip below 1 at home against Jake Irvin with a 6.5 ERA his last 7 starts. Jake Irvin with a 5.81 ERA on the road for the season. The Nats fired their skipper about a week ago. Ben, sometimes you get a dead cat bounce off of that, and the team just rallies, and maybe they were sick of Davey Martinez calling them out in the press, and maybe they were sick of Rizzo, their general manager, pretending like he was Abner Doubleday and invented baseball. But that hasn't happened. And, yeah, they scrapped together yesterday, and then what happened? The worst bullpen in the National League imploded again. And guess what? Brad Lord has been pretty good for them lately, including covering over 2 innings yesterday. They can't go back to him now, right? Finnegan, the closer, got beat yesterday. There's not a lot of other options they like to throw. The Brewers are hitting the ball very well right now. The Brewers are 8-2 on the run line in their last 2 at home. And again, almost covered for us again yesterday, despite falling behind late. We jumped it for plus money at the start of the series. I'm back on it today. Second down, Ben.
Yeah, second down here, we are going to go to a parlay in the WNBA, and it's not a the big plus money one that's exciting for everybody, but it's just a pretty simple one here. Brianna Jones, 10 plus points, Caitlin Clark, 7 plus assists, and 3 plus rebounds for her. Jones is over this in 16 of 20 games this season. She's coming off of a game where she was under, but she also only played 24 minutes and was dealing with foul trouble all game. Caitlin Clark's got 3 plus rebounds in 9 of 11 games. That shouldn't really be an issue. She's healthy. She's going to be playing more and more minutes as she plays more. She's 2 games back. This will be her 3rd, so I'd expect more minutes from her. And then 7 plus assists. She's gone for that in 6 of her last 8 games. Dallas struggles defensively. You look at a few of the recent matchups for Dallas, right? Alyssa Thomas had 15 assists and 10 assists, which we cashed on this a week ago. 7 assists for Kelsey Mitchell with Caitlin Clark out the last time they played. And Clark is probably the second best passer in the WNBA. So I do like the minus 150 parlay here.
Well, I love the way you approach that, too, because Clark's getting hammered everywhere for her horrible shooting, and for good reason, because it has been horrible. But she is a complete player, and she can pivot, and she's got some talent around her. So I'm going to tail you on that, Beltway, Ben. You get me on a 1-unit play there.
There we go.
I'm sorry. My bad. That was Chopper who's driving me crazy. We will go meatball on that.
Okay.
We will go meatball on that. I have been judicious. I have not. I'll be honest. I have not made a WNBA play yet. But I like that one, so I'm going to follow you. Beltway Ben in second down. You're not a soccer guy at all, but you're getting there. How did I do for you in the Gold Cup, Beltway Ben? How did you do tailing me in the Gold Cup?
Pretty damn good, and it's actually been fun tailing these plays because we cash and cash and cash.
So then how did we do when I pivoted to the World Club Cup? How are we doing there?
Picked up right where you left off. Nothing changed.
And then, in some of these tournaments, I like to sit out the first stage of the group to just absorb and watch. And then when we jumped into the women's Euros, how's that working out for us?
Nothing's changed. Keep going.
Yeah. Yesterday we cashed in 12 minutes. Our bet cashed in 12 minutes. I love France to win today. Okay. And again, not super sexy, but they might be the best team in this tournament. They are in tremendous form. They've scored 2+ goals in 10 of their last 11 matches. They've won 10 in a row. This is a quality opponent today in Holland, but what France just did to England, France being able to rest whoever they wanted to rest and take down Wales 4-1. France has had their eye on this match to establish dominance. And what I love about this match is, again, we're betting situations. So France wants to stay hot. France doesn't really have to worry. They don't have to worry about not going through, but you get the sense watching them play, they want to win this group, and they want to win this group with gusto. How about Holland? They've got to worry about goal differential. They've got to score. They've got to attack. They can't sit back and try to 0-0 or 1-0 this. They've got to score. They've got to keep an eye on what's going on with England and Wales. So it's going to be wide open. So I have also played this Beltway, Ben, the France money line with both teams to score, and that's what you can get on that as a parlay. The last 5 times these teams have met, produced 19 total goals. I mentioned France, they're in great form, and they are, and they're scoring like crazy. They've also conceded in 3 straight matches. We've seen a lot of early goals in this tournament and a lot of late goals. I think we will see both in this match. I think the first 20 minutes, Holland is on a full throttle push to score. If they do, I would live bet this, not just over 3.5 goals, but maybe over 4.5 goals. But to start the match, this is where I am. And I would not be surprised if France wins this whole thing. Third down, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, real quick. I just have a quick play. I mean, there's a lot of juice here. Based off of, talking to Jason and following soccer the way I have through him, really. Because, again, as he said, I'm getting more and more into soccer as we go. But just you heard him talk about the France and how good they've been scoring the ball and how Netherlands needs to score. I like over 2.5 at minus 167. And you look at the games, over in 4 of 5 for the Netherlands and 3 of 4, I believe, for France, or one way or the other. But both teams have gone over in all of one game. So I like the over 2.5 today. Do you have any thoughts on that? You like that? I know.
No, I like it.
Both teams to score.
I like it. And honestly, I've gone back and forth. I might even before, like I said, before the match, I might even play it over 3.5. And if we get that early goal that I think we're going to get, and these are two teams that are pretty adept at scoring off of corners, they can make it happen off of dead balls and set pieces, then I could see, like we saw a 4-1 yesterday, right? We saw 5 goals, could have been 7 goals in that Germany match. Like this is kind of like that. Like you look at what's at stake, it's a similar scenario. So look, if we don't get that first goal, things might change. But I think we're getting a goal in the first 20 minutes of this match. And if we do, especially if it's from Holland, like I would ideally, even though I'm on France, I wouldn't mind that to cash everything. Yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be pretty wide open, Ben. And this tournament has been wide open.
Yeah. So now to get to third down here, I'm going to go back to the WNBA. And this is a play that it's another parlay. This is a plus money one that just to get us to plus 110. But it's Seattle Storm on the money line and Nneka Ogwumike. 7+ rebounds at plus 110. Now, you look, they're just a much better team. And I'm a Mystics fan. I'm a Wizards fan, Mystics fan. But the game's in Seattle. 7-3 at home compared to 6-5 on the road. Much better at home. Then you look at the Mystics. 3-7 on the road.
Wizards.
They've played.
That's just for the Wizards. I had to get some sideways Adam Gase in there for the Wizards.
I was looking at their NBA summer league spread. Just kidding.
Don't.
7+ boards for Ogwumike in 13 of 19 games this season. Opposing forwards against the Mystics. You have Jackie Young, who probably a 3-2, like she's a guard/forward, 7 rebounds. Angel Reese, 15. Elizabeth Williams in that same game, 7. Nalissa Smith, 7. And then Yeru, 6 in 19 minutes in that same game. So when you look at what, forwards, 3s, 4s, 5s are doing against them, it's grabbing a lot of boards. I do like her to grab 7 as she's done it in so many games, 13 of 19, like I said. And the Seattle Storm are the better team. They laid one down against Connecticut earlier in the week. They should not do that. And the Mystics are not that bad. They're not as bad as other teams, but the Mystics are not as good as Seattle Storm. They need to get it rolling, and I do like them to win today.
Okie dokie. I will be keeping a close eye on that one. Third down, as I said, there's been a bit of a motif this week. I have found myself compelled in my favorite bets of the day to keep drilling down on certain series. And so let's go back to that Pirates Twins series. And I know things got bonkers scoring wise yesterday, but guess what? All we needed yesterday was the Nerfy, and we got it. I'm back on the first 5 under here. Now, look, if you want to play this at 5.5, you can get that. Last I checked, around minus 150. I obviously am not mad at that. I'm going with the 4.5 here. I think this is priced a little odd. Like Simeon Woods Richardson, right, is a league average pitcher. Like there's nothing super special about him, but like Ben, he's been pretty damn good. And if you look at his first 5s, right? So his last 14 starts, there have been 4 total runs scored in the first 5 innings in 10 of those 14. Simeon Woods Richardson has allowed 2 runs or less in 11 of his last 12 starts. Like you look at what he's allowed over those 14 starts in the first 5 innings, 17 total runs, and 8 of them came in one terrible outing. So, like, he's been pretty good, and he's better at home than road. Keller on the mound for the Pirates. He's pitching like his ass is on fire. He wants out of there so damn bad. He wants to be traded so bad, And now he's at the end of the line, might be his last start with them against a Minnesota lineup that has been very up and down. I think we're going to get the best out of him. He's better outside of that little bandbox in Pittsburgh, and especially in a big park like this, than he is at home. 3.09 road ERA. Beltway Ben, if you drill down on Keller on the road through 5 innings, he's top 30 in the major leagues in ERA under those filters. You're looking at a Pirates team that's gone under first 5, 6 of their last 8 on the road. They're a dead under team. They are the worst scoring road team in baseball. And you got a Minnesota team that I think the offense is going to regress after going nuts the other night. This is a much higher ask facing Keller than what they had to do yesterday with Burrows. So I'm chasing the plus money here. Again, if you want to play it at 5.5, go for it. One other thing, a couple other things I want to mention before we go to fourth down. With my Milwaukee play, I did play a parlay. Milwaukee to win the first 5, not first 5 money line. Milwaukee to have a lead after 5 innings, and Peralta with 6 Ks instead of 7. They want you to go after 7. Take that down to 6. Take Milwaukee to win the first 5 plus 111. I did sprinkle on that. I wanted to give that out to you guys as well. And since we have hit Nerfies 2 straight days, Beltway Ben, I'm going to try to make that streak go to 3. I've sprinkled on this, okay? I made a $20 bet on this. I'm not saying go crazy here, but I do like these 3 Nerfies. I'm not going to belabor the point here and get into all 3 of them. I just told you about, why I'm back on the unders in Pittsburgh, Minnesota. Go look at the pitching matchup with the Sox and the Rays. And that series, all the damage has been done mostly against the bullpens. And Mets Royals, the Royals don't score. The Royals are the lowest scoring team at home. And that Mets lineup is very hit or miss. And lately it's been a little bit of miss. I know the top of that lineup is legit, but I think that ballpark in Kansas City can keep them in the yard. So for that kind of payoff, that interests me. Beltway Ben, 4th and long. We're both in Baltimore. We're both Orioles fans, although our fandom does not affect how we bet. Baltimore Orioles all of a sudden are creeping a little closer to 500. They got as low as 18 games below 500 at one point in time. They're above 500 since they fired their skipper. They're getting better pitching now. The lineup is stabilized. The only regular who's really out right now is Adley Rutschman, and he doesn't hit worth a damn when he catches anyway. The Baltimore Orioles to make the playoffs, we're finding this around plus 1,200. They still have 6 teams ahead of them to catch to even make the final wild card. Does this do anything for you? And are you frankly surprised? And I know they're in a tougher division than the Halos, but we just reassessed the Halos again this week, and that's now plus 1,300. Does this feel like Vegas thinks they have a chance? Because I feel like this should be 15-1 or higher.
Yeah, just real quick. It's got to be Adam Gase. And again, you said we're both in the Baltimore area and we watch, and big Orioles fan. Like when you watch them, they played better. I get it. They played much better baseball. But they dug themselves so deep into a hole in a year where all of a sudden, the Orioles are playing good. Go look around the AL East, right?
Yeah.
They got to catch all these different teams. Yeah. And a lot of these teams have consistency, right? Starting pitching. Seattle. All of their starters are good. The Orioles, listen, Trevor Rogers somehow has turned into a legit thing. It's serious. The velocity is up, and that's changed everything for him. But when you look at all of their starters, and Dean's been awesome, have to expect some regression from Dean. I'm sorry, you just do with how you've seen things go for him in the past. Sagano. Nobody was higher on Sagano than me when the Orioles signed him. Sagano had a good outing against the Mets the other day, but that's not consistent. And the lineup, they chase too many home runs, and it's getting warmer. I get it. But you're not going to be hitting home runs left and right off of good starters or even bad ones in Jansen Junk yesterday in a hot day in Baltimore. Yesterday was the perfect day for that lineup to explode. You look at this series. I know the Marlins are playing better baseball. This was a series that if they swept, I would have said, maybe they got a shot. But instead, yesterday, you go out and score 0 runs. I don't want to hear with how good the Marlins have played. I get that. But my point is, you cannot score 0 runs against Jansen Junk there. And then, Trevor Rogers goes out against his former team, gives you what he did, throws a gem. And then you bring in Greg Soto, who we know he's the walking time bomb. He gives up a run, and then they pour it on late. The game was a lot closer than the final score. But yesterday to me was a must-have because now today you have Brandon Young going, and I know I'm just looking at a series. This is overall we're looking to make the playoffs, but
this sets their direction, Beltway Ben.
Yes.
You're drilling down the series because like it's been pretty obvious to smart baseball people they need to sell, but the standings might just beat them over the head. You got to sell.
Yeah, 100%. So, and they're going to get Bradish and Grayson back. Grayson, how many starts does he make before he's saying his hamstring hurts? And then I'm a big Bradish guy, but you have to expect. I would expect Bradish to be good next year, not the end of this year. So no, I can't buy the Orioles at plus 1,200. Love to see it, but can't buy it.
I can't buy it either. And at the end of the day, their general manager, as much as I think he's a fraud, he is a number crunching fraud. And there's no way that their proprietary data isn't telling them that they're not passing 6 teams in 45, in the span of 45 games. Like it's not 50 games, whatever it is, because they're creeping up on 100. So I think he's going to sell. And while that's not a death sentence, Laureano's been really, really good for them. O'Hearn's been really, really good for them. Cedric Mullins, people like to dump on Cedric Mullins. Watch the line, watch everything, outfield defense, everything. Once they do trade Cedric Mullins, because they'd be really lunatics not to. The catching situation is kind of deplorable right now. Even when Adley comes back with an oblique, they've got to be careful. He's not, and he's on his best day an average defensive catcher at that. So you're gonna, they're gonna have to lean into Stallings and guys like that. Yeah, there's only, I'm out of that. I'm not gonna play him to miss the playoffs because obviously there's no money in that. But I do think they're cooked. Beltway Ben, before we get out of here and start watching these games, you're on a. I know you're on Chelsea. I know that you are on PSG to win the World Club Cup. We got you guys on PSG. You can't get the odds anything close to what we gave you at the start of the week. We jumped on PSG to win this match as soon as those odds came out after the semifinals were over. What do you have in the World Club Cup going?
Yeah, here I just got a quick one. Basically, them to win, to lift the cup. Dembele, 1+ shot on target, which he's done. He's been incredible for them, quite honestly. And then over 1.5 goals. I think they go over 1.5, but this is just for the match. So if we're tied 1-1 and they win an extra, we cash there. So I do like over 1.5. Dembele, 1+ shot on goal, and then PSG to lift the cup.
Yeah, like I'm on PSG. I've got a small parlay. PSG over 2.5 goals. And yes, I think PSG score at least twice in this series, in this game, and they have been scoring over 2 goals a match for the totality of this tournament. That is a Sunday edition of WannaBet. We covered. Oh, sorry, you got some.
Are we getting to home runs? Do we want to do a quick derby?
Oh, duh! I forgot overtime. My bad. We've got one more play in overtime. Home run derby. Thank you for reminding me, Beltway Ben. I got 2 kids who are waiting for me to make mac and cheese for them. So I'm a little hurried. Who are you playing in the home run derby?
Yeah, just real quick. I'm going to go with Matt Olson to win, plus 1,000. Second best odds in it. Hometown guy, right? He's born and raised in Atlanta. He's already played in it once, 2021, in Colorado. And a big thing with the home run derby for me is guys get tired because they go out and just try to smoke home runs in the first round. He has the experience. He's been there. It's going to be a Truist where he's hit a ton of home runs since he's been traded there from the A's. So the experience, him being in his hometown, the crowd will be at his back. I like Matt Olson to win the home run derby, and these are really good odds for me.
I thought about that one. The hometown factor does matter. I went with James Wood. I spent a decent amount of time around this kid in the minor leagues, saw him quite a bit. Nothing phases this kid. This kid has a perpetually, like, a heartbeat that is a competitor's heartbeat. Like nothing gets him overexcited. Nothing gets the juices flowing too much. He stays within himself. I've sat in minor league ballparks when there's 50 people there and his dad and his mom are next to me. Like I think the world of this kid. This kid is an assassin, but he's a quiet assassin. He's a calm assassin. He's familiar with that ballpark. He has a natural stroke, and I don't think he's going to get high or low or anything. At plus 450, I don't know. I just have a feeling we've seen this be like you and I have known who James Wood is forever. Baseball people know how good he is. The average American doesn't even know who. This has been a launching pad excuse the pun. It's what they used to call Fulton County Stadium. And obviously it's home run derby, but it's kind of shot people in the stratosphere a little bit. And I just have a hunch that that's going to play out that way for James Wood. I look at that field. You mentioned Olsen. There's not a whole lot of guys who've thrived in it before. So I put a few bucks on James Wood. That is WannaBet. Ben and I will be back tomorrow. It's a Monday, so our buddy Eric Casilius will be with us. We're going to take a look at our favorite, obviously no MLB plays, not a whole lot of games to play. We'll be looking at some futures. We'll be looking at our favorite quarterback props to play right now in the NFL. We'll be back again Tuesday, continue football week. We'll look at a lot of NFL props as well. We'll be on hiatus from Wednesday on. Beltway Ben's got a wedding in Wisconsin. And then we'll be back with you next week. But still more bets to get to. We've been hot as hell. We hope you have been tailing us. We're trying to build a community here. We want you guys to be a part of it. Check us out on our Discord, and we'll see you tomorrow on WannaBet.